Hello traders, hello everyone, and welcome to our new video, this time on cryptocurrencies. Specifically, I will look at Bitcoin and some flows data and also at Ripple. Now, we have seen extensions to the downside, accelerating price action on cryptocurrencies. Actually, this happened at the same time when the US market came to the downside, and I have been telling and repeating this in the past that if stocks are coming sharply to the downside, then same investor who is looking for cash will also go into cash out from cryptos, because obviously cryptos are much more volatile. So fear is what is driving this market at the moment. Also, we have to understand that there are obviously a lot of risk on the table. You have US Russia tensions, and then you have this Fed policy, hawkish policy. If they will really hike rates, this normally means that of course US dollar could be back on the track, because it means that there will be less money flows, and obviously this means that US dollar could see some strength here. So this is what this is actually the reason why the US dollar is higher at the moment across the board, and obviously this has impacted on a bearish way on Bitcoin as well. In fact, I've been repeating this also in the past, that you have to keep in mind on correlation between Bitcoin and stock market. Okay, there's not a tight correlations, but usually you have these swings or timing of a top or bottom very similar. Okay, so we have seen this happening here back last year in January, then even in February. We have seen some minor pullback here, corrections on stocks. In orange is the S&P 500. Here we have seen in May, and there was a sharp sell-off on cryptos at the same time. Also in September, stocks found weakness, cryptocurrencies accelerated. Then both found a temporary top in November. Bitcoin accelerated to the downside. S&P 500 retested the highs going into the end of the year with some of the flows, but this because of portfolio adjustment, because of the risk, as I said, that is on the table. Stocks came back to the downside, and this what has triggered even more acceleration lower on Bitcoin. Okay, so where we are at this stage, or what is really important here? Well, important is to look back and focus on the real higher degree picture. Okay, looking here at the log scale, because I think that cyclical log scale is much better approach. So what we are seeing here, well, I've been looking for this consolidation last year. I said that even if we are moving to a new all-time highs, well, I'm not that bullish, because everyone was already looking towards 100,000. There was a new ETF launch, there was Coinbase IPO. So actually there were a lot of bullish sentiment that leads to extreme reading, and this is usually the opposite reaction. Okay, so I've been warning about this potential wave 4 and looking still for a potential triangle or even a flat correction. So at this stage, it's very hard to say if we are in a flat or in a triangle, because in either case this correction is still incomplete. Okay, but definitely it's a very attractive super zone here around 30,000, 33,000, especially if this is going to be a triangle, because in a triangle subwave should not breach below this wave A levels from June of last year. So for now, I think that this level here is very interesting, because you have some gaps here. I showed this also in the past. You have some gaps here. It's a futures continuation contracts, obviously, and you can see that there was a gap that was filled here back from July of last year. So actually it was an interesting reaction higher. Actually, this gap has also been visible on some of the ETFs. So I'm sure that's a very important reversal, very important bounce so far. And I think it will be very important for me to track the intraday swings, how the price action will respond and trade away from here. If we will see further strength on the intraday basis, and potentially even with 5 waves up, let's say back towards 40,000, then I think that we can see more upside in the next few weeks. So Bitcoin, as I said, if this is going to be a triangle, then now we are close to a support. But as I said, even a flat formation, that's unfortunately still very valid. So I think that, as I said, move above 40,000, potentially this broken trend line move out of the channel will really give us an idea that we are probably consolidating further for a triangle. So it's very important to understand that I still do not expect any significant bull run, but rather just still continuation of this choppy overlapping price action in this contracting range, even if this is going to be broken. But of course, there will be some opportunities, especially on some selective altcoins. Okay, now let's take a look also on some of the data here. Here we have Bitcoin long liquidations, and you can see that there were some longs liquidated, meaning that, of course, those who are long are maybe they cannot really hold this longs position for any longer because you are seeing a very deep price. So maybe some still want to get out early, maybe a little bit too early. So what we are seeing here is that here in yellow, I have the simple moving average of this data, okay, of last 7 days. And what we can see is that here still, I mean, there can be some very interesting extreme of these long liquidations once we will see reading above 3,000. Okay, so in such case, I think that this could be very interesting, interesting potential information for a reversal, because more longs are liquidated. I think that then greater is a chance that really bounce will occur, because markets, unfortunately, based on psychological perspective, works the opposite of expectations. Okay, so that's for long liquidations. If we look here also at exchange inflows, here again I'm looking at this at the average of the last 7 days. Still, we are not here above 50k, okay, of the last 7 days. So once we will reach this 50k, I think that could be very interesting again, that a lot of coins, meaning are going to be transferred into exchanges, and only with one reason, because they want to exchange their coin probably for fiat or maybe for some other cryptocurrency. So if we're still seeing more increase of this exchange inflows, then I think again it could be, unfortunately, it could be an alert that bottom is coming soon. Okay, so watch out for this data as well. And now also finally, let's take a look on Ripple. Now I'm looking at just this price action down from 2021 highs. As you know, Ripple still has this case going on with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. I just think that they extended dates for Security Commission till February. So we'll see what will unfold from this story. But I think that from a risk-reward perspective, this one is looking quite interesting. Not only that this case is important for Ripple in general, it's very important for whole cryptocurrencies, okay, because there are going to be a lot of more regulations probably this year. And of course, if we get positive from this case, something positive from this case regarding Ripple, then I think that this could form a very nice base here on this market. So what I'm looking at here is an ABC formation. You are seeing a very nice wedge pattern here going on, potentially here an ending diagonal in wave C. We still haven't triggered these June levels retested. We came quite close, but based on the recent price action, I think that there can be another retest coming. Who knows, maybe at the same time Bitcoin will retest that 30,000 level before we finally see maybe some spikes in volume, and then we bottom. Of course, as I said earlier, very important will be to watch the US stock market. Very important will be to watch tomorrow FOMC decisions. So if they will remain hawkish, if they will announce that they will maybe do 3-4 hikes this year, this could eventually, at least in the short term, trigger even more dollar strength, and we could see some lower spikes here on cryptocurrencies and even stock market. Okay, but if stock market will see maybe a sharp bounce, if we'll see a very strong reversal, that's when back to bullish mode, that's when I think that Bitcoin again could be very, very interesting for more upside. Traders, thank you very much for your attention and talk to you soon. Bye.